We're with Amy Smith, one of the 5 seniors on the Eastern Connecticut field hockey roster. The Warriors preparing for their season opener, their 14th season under head coach Christine Hutchison. Amy, you guys are just about done with preseason. How did the preseason go, generally?
Preseason went really well for us. We had a lot of girls come back this past year. We only lost 4 seniors last year, and we had a large freshman class come in too. As the week progressed, we all worked on various things, building up through different scrimmages to figure out what we needed to work on, and we've gotten a lot of work done, and we're really looking forward to the season.
Well, you've got one more scrimmage to go, but with the season really starting up in a few days, are you guys pretty much happy with where you are with the season just about ready to go, or are there things you really still need to work on?
There's a couple things we still need to work on. We're aware of the areas where we need a bit more work from our scrimmage the other day. We know things that worked well and the little things that we need to work on to just push ourselves to be that much more ready for when our season opens.
What did you see in that Elm scrimmage? What did you see that was good, and what did you see that you thought maybe you guys have to still work on?
So one thing that worked really well is that for most of the girls on the team, we're able to play in various different positions, so people can get moved around to different spots, and we're all able to adjust successfully and worked really well together to get the ball up the field. If there is anything we need to work on, it's just making sure that we're all on the same page of where the ball's going and just keep our communication up so we can keep the ball moving in the direction we want it to.
Talking to a couple of the women on the team after that scrimmage, they felt that the chemistry so far on the field with the communication and with people being positive was very good. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think as a program overall, we're very positive people. We like to try and keep the energy up because if you're positive off the field, you're also positive on the field. And it's helpful to be encouraging to everyone. So then if you think you messed up, instead of getting down on yourself, if everyone's pushing you up and lifting you up, you're that much more ready to keep going, and it keeps you going for longer.
You know, we didn't really talk about this, but you've got 5 seniors on the team, and 3 of them, you, Lindsay McKeon, and Kiara Valentine, are 4-year players. Will the leadership from this team come from the 5 seniors, or is it a kind of thing where everyone jumps in and helps out in that area?
Everyone pretty much jumps in and helps out in that area because we all know what it was like to come in as a freshman where you're scared. It's a transition year. It's a little bit, some people have a hard time coming off of playing in high school and they have an adjustment period. So we all really step up to make sure everyone feels welcome, everyone knows where they should be on the field, and just helping them out in general.
When you came in as a freshman, can you think back to that as to, you just mentioned it a little bit about how you're sort of scared and stuff. Do you feel much more comfortable as the seasons go along?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm more comfortable as each season came because I knew what to expect at that point. I knew a lot of the girls already, so I wasn't nervous about meeting them for the first time. I knew what to expect out of the coaches and what to expect just in terms of the team playing in general because you have to adjust sometimes to a different playing style because the different formations are different than what you're used to.
It's nice to be able to play for the same coach for 4 years, isn't it? I don't know how it was in high school, but I know when there's a change of coaches, you're almost basically starting over.
Yeah, it's nice having the same coach because you know some of the things that she likes and the way that she likes certain things done, so that way the team can be successful, and it's helpful that way at least to help acclimate all of the newcomers to the team.
I know talking to Morgan Zanson last year, and she was one of your first-year players, even though she was a junior. She really liked the fact that things with Christine Hutchison were very structured in terms of this is when we're going to be at practice, and this is the time you can expect to be done.
Yeah. It's nice having our set practice time because that way then the freshmen come in knowing when to have their schedules made, so that way they know to keep a certain block of time open, and it really helps keep you structured so that way the adjustment isn't as shocking as it could be if we didn't have a set practice time.
Well, you guys last year, you only won 5 games, and looking back on that season, it seemed like it was a better team than 5 wins. But half of your roster, just about half your roster, was new people. Did it take a lot of the season to really start to be on the same page?
I don't really think it took most of the season. A lot of times with field hockey in general, there can be a game that you lose by a lot, but it really was a close game. It's just whether or not the opportunities to score were there or not, and if you took advantage of those. Sometimes you got unlucky and they had a really fast break, or they had one lucky shot that got in and you unfortunately couldn't do the same. So I think overall last season we were a better team than what our record showed.
Well, think about some of the new people that came in, transfers and freshmen. You had people like Morgan Sanson, you had Sydney Hogan, Sydney Collantine. You had a lot of talented players, agreed?
Yeah, we had a lot of talented players. Overall, I think our team is extremely talented. So it's nice to have those people that we all can move around and we all can step up where we need to.
Well, the good thing about this year is that this year you open up your season and you're playing Salve Regina, and then about a week later you're playing Roger Williams. And those are two new teams to the schedule.
Yes.
And they're out of the CCC, I believe, and they're middle of the road in that conference. They were picked third or fourth or fifth in their conference preseason. Last year you opened up with Springfield and Wesleyan. Do you feel better going into some games early on that you know you can be very competitive with?
Yeah, I feel like starting off with non-conference games is good because it gives us an idea of just the little things we'll need to adjust before we hit conference play, so then we're ready for that.
Last year, you didn't win your first game on the road. You only won one game on the road last year, but it was a huge one. You went up and you beat Framingham 3-0 to get into the conference tournament. Was there a reason why the team struggled on the road? Could it be because it's a lot of new people are still getting adjusted to that?
I think it was just that we had to figure out how to adjust to different fields a little bit better.
Yeah.
We, for a lot of those games, we were able to adjust in the second half, but by that point, some of the other teams already had a couple goals in, and we weren't as lucky. So I think this year we're trying to be a little bit more successful on the road.
So you came off that game against Framingham. You beat them very solidly, 3-0. Then you went up to Castleton. And you lost in the first round of the conference tournament 7-0. When you won that game up at Framingham, did you feel, okay, now we're ready to go, we feel good going into the tournament?
Yeah, we did feel pretty good going into the tournament because having that first and at that point only road win was really good. It proved to us that we could win on the road and that we weren't just a team that could only win at home. So it really gave us a boost and helped us feel like we could have done it at Castleton.
Well, what were some of the factors going against you against Castleton, a team that you played very close in the regular season?
Yeah, I think part of it was because we initially, the first time we played Castleton last season, it was very early on in the season, so they were still building as a team, we were still building as a team, so by the time we met again, it was like a different team at that point, so we just had to find new ways to adjust to their playing style.
You guys are ranked 10th in the Little East preseason poll, but the good thing is the fact that Castleton was ranked 11th last year and ended up winning the conference. So when the poll, as of right now, as we're speaking, that poll isn't out yet, but it will be out in a few days. Generally, when a preseason poll comes out, how does the team look at it? Do they just dismiss it, or how do you look at a preseason poll?
For the most part, we don't really look at it too closely because that's just based on how things happened last season and how teams who would lose however many players. So the preseason poll is kind of just like what was thought of before everyone else comes in.
Yeah.
And each year it is like a new team no matter who comes in, who leaves. So it's just like a guideline, but we're looking forward to hopefully having the same result as Castleton did last year where we can shock people even though we're ranked 10th currently.
Which would be really great. You and the other two four-year seniors, when you guys came in as freshmen, the year before the team had a great season. They had won 13 games. They got to the conference finals. And you guys have struggled under 500 for 3 years. How would you and the other four-year seniors like to end your careers?
We'd like to try and end our career over the 500 mark, try to have us get to that winning season that we know we can have. We really think that this team is really strong and that we can do really well this year.
Well, the Warriors are going to get a test opening up right away. They're going to be on Saturday, August 31st. They're going to be at Salve Regina, which is a new opponent to the schedule. That's an 11 o'clock start. And they will get into their conference season on September 14th, a couple of weeks later, hosting Salem State at the Mansfield Complex. Amy, thanks for being here. Good luck this year.
Thank you.